Today we're doing a direct comparison between the BougeRV 100 watt folding solar panel and the FlexSolar 100 watt folding solar panel. As you can see, the BougeRV on the right here doesn't come with its separate carrying case and only comes with a cable that has barrel plugs to go into your devices. It does have built into the panel a USB-A and a USB-C output. And then the FlexSolar over here on the left, it comes with a cable that has the barrel plug to plug into the panel, but then it also gives you 3 other output options, including the XT60 plug. I actually ended up using this cable in the initial testing with the BougeRV because my hands-free one only has an XT60 plug. So I had to use that plugged into this to do my initial testing. The FlexSolar also comes with a carry bag, which you can keep the cable in and keep your whole panel all in one place. Comparing sizes, the FlexSolar, mainly because of this piece, which has your USB connections and everything, it's a little bit bigger in this direction, but then compared to the BougeRV, which is underneath, it's shorter going this direction. So this is your BougeRV panel on the bottom, this is the FlexSolar on the top. So it's a little bit longer this way, but again, when you look at it in this direction, the FlexSolar panel is longer in this direction. And when you look at the thickness of them, overall thickness, that makes it a lot thicker than the FlexSolar. The FlexSolar is going to be overall smaller and easier to fit in a backpack because, again, that does take up quite a bit of space. Whereas on the FlexSolar, it's built into this. We're also going to test in good sun as well as overcast situations, and we'll try to shade them and try to simulate what it would be if you're out in the woods or someplace where there's trees with leaves on it. Right now it's only the beginning of March, so we don't have any leaves on our trees yet, but we'll see how these two perform side by side. A few things to point out, differences between the two. The BougeRV advertises that it is N-type solar cells. The FlexSolar doesn't say what type of solar cells it uses. Also, the BougeRV has a 2-year warranty. The FlexSolar only has a 1-year warranty. And then underneath each one here on the screen, you can see what the sizes are, both folded and unfolded. So we'll test these side by side using the Bluetti hands-free one portable power station. Obviously, I'll test one at a time. So here's a comparison between the BougeRV 100 watt solar panel. That's the one up here at the top. And then the FlexSolar 100 watt solar panel, that's this one at the bottom. You can see size-wise, there's a pretty big difference in the unfolded size. And then if you look at them from this way, both rated for 100 watts. Here's the BougeRV hanging on the patio door. You can see the size, and you can see what kind of output we're getting. So here's the FlexSolar 100 hanging on the patio door. You can see size-wise how big it is and what kind of output we're getting from it. So here's the BougeRV sitting on the back steps, sitting at a roughly, I don't know, mostly flat at the top and a little bit of a angle, maybe 30-degree angle at the bottom. And you can see what kind of output we're getting from this. And then if I shade one of the panels, there's our output. If we shade basically 3 panels, this is what we're getting. So here's the FlexSolar 100, also sitting on the stairs. The top is basically sitting flat. The bottom is on about a 30-degree angle. And you can see what kind of output we're getting from this. And we'll do the same thing. We'll shade it, shade 1 panel. You can see what we're getting there. Shade about 3 panels and you can see what we're getting. All right, here's the FlexSolar panel sitting in the shade of the tree. You can see there's a pretty good shade. You can kind of see, again, we don't have leaves, but it does show you a little bit of some shading from the tree and what kind of wattage we're getting. So to do basically the same test with the BougeRV panel, I put the BougeRV panel directly on top of the FlexSolar panel, and you can see we're actually getting a little bit better output from the BougeRV panel. It's about 40 degrees Fahrenheit out, And I've got the BougeRV sitting on top of my rigid panels sitting in the backyard. Again, this is basically facing due south. And these panels, the BougeRV panels, the rigid ones, are sitting at about a 30-degree angle, which is the right angle for the summer, not so much for the winter. But you can see what kind of output we're getting from the 100-watt flexible folding panels sitting at this angle. So here's the FlexSolar 100 panels sitting on top of the BougeRV panels, and you can see what kind of output we're getting from these panels. We're back out testing the FlexSolar S100 100-watt folding solar panel and the BougeRV 100-watt folding solar panel, and it's very overcast. It is still kind of bright, but it is overcast. What we can see is the BougeRV is getting about 30 watts, and the FlexSolar 100 is about the same. So you can see on screen results under this condition laying flat on the ground. For comparison, my 3 BougeRV 200-watt bifacial solar panels, under ideal conditions, they'd pull in sometimes a little over 600 watts. Today, they're bringing in about 240 watts. So it's gotten a little bit cloudier. You can see we're down to 18, 19 watts on the BougeRV, but it is still enough to fast charge the phone. On the FlexSolar panel, we're about 26 watts now, and it is enough to fast charge the phone. We are back outside. It's only about an hour later. It is completely overcast. It's almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Somewhere up there is the sun, and we're rechecking to see where we're at. And you can see we're getting only 3 to 4 watts out of the BougeRV panel. Phone keeps going in and out of charging. Definitely 1 to 3 watts is not enough to charge the phone. So that's the BougeRV. We'll try it now on the FlexSolar and see if we get any different results. We're plugged into the FlexSolar panel now, and again, still only getting 3 to 4 watts. You can see the phone's not registering anything at all. Nothing's coming in there, and like I said, now we're down to 2 watts on the hands-free one. So essentially the same results on both of them in this essentially no light condition. For the sake of comparison, we're only getting about 20 watts out of essentially 600 watts worth of solar panels. I have the hands-free one backpack sitting on my counter in the kitchen, and this is set on a stack of books so that it's basically at what would be my shoulder height. I am 6'2" tall, and with the BougeRV panel folded in half, you can see roughly how tall it would be. So there's a couple of feet before it hits the ground, assuming you've got it clipped onto one of the hooks. Now on this side there isn't an eyelet. You'd have to rig up something to be able to hang that from there. So if you were going to walk with this on your back, that's basically what you're looking at. So if you're over 6 foot, you have plenty of room without it dragging too much on the ground. So now we're checking to see how far the FlexSolar panel hangs down. It's clipped to the Blue Eddy hands-free one backpack. You can see it's actually longer, as we saw when I was sitting outside, and it does go down quite a bit further. There's maybe 18 inches to the bottom, so that would be banging into the back of my legs the whole time. Again, I'm 6'2", so if you're shorter, that could be dragging on the ground. The nice thing about this, that it is easy to clip in. However, on the back side, you'd have to somehow rig this, maybe tie a string or something from that eyelet up to this eyelet, because otherwise this just hangs there. The other thing I did is I took both of these panels outside and checked them on the backpack in different angles. So simulating if I was hiking straight into the sun with my back at the sun and then going east or going west. And I'll put the results up here. You can see the FlexSolar side by side with the BougeRV and how they did in each position. The BougeRV 100-watt folding solar panel does fit into the Blue Eddy hands-free one backpack laptop sleeve, But if you try to close this, and if you have camera gear in there, it's going to be way too tight. If you weren't carrying camera gear or didn't need the dividers, then it would be fine. So while yes, it does fit, it's not exactly practical. So we'll try it in the front pocket. So sitting in the front pocket, it does fit fine. Now again, this is expandable. You can open this up another 3 inches or so. So if you did have clothes or other things you needed to fit in there, you could do that and carry your solar panel. The other option is you can always leave this folded and then figure out how to strap it to the outside. In order to use the BougeRV folding panel with the hands-free one, you'll need to get a connector like this, which is an XT60 female on one end, and then your male 5521 barrel plug on the other end. This will plug into this, and then of course your XT60 will plug into the power station. This type of connection does not come with the BougeRV panel. So the big question is, which one am I going to keep? I've got the FlexSolar 100 watt and the BougeRV 100 watt. We've tested them side by side in ideal conditions, less than ideal conditions, and basically almost raining. They performed very similar. The one thing I like about the BougeRV panel is that when it's unfolded, it is shorter. The fact that they're able to get the same output with 2 fewer panels versus the FlexSolar speaks a lot about the quality of the panel. Either one would work. I think it just depends on what your preferences are. In this case, I'm going to stick with the BougeRV panel, even though I'm not super thrilled about this sticking up, but it does fit fine inside of the hands-free one backpack. So as long as we're careful about the power outlet box, then I think we'll be fine.